Hello and welcome to Midlife Meltdown, and in today's short video I want to talk about why I believe it is so important to tackle narcissistic personality disorder. Now, there are multiple personality disorders that people suffer from, and being on the receiving end of abuse from those personality disorders can be difficult to deal with. But narcissistic personality disorder, I believe, is particularly tricky. I believe that narcissistic personality disorder behaves very much like a psychological virus. That people suffer abuse at the hands of narcissists and gain internal wounds. Ultimately, some become narcissists. Now, to alleviate the pain they feel, those people then go and abuse other people to soothe those wounds. And the cycle continues. Now, the key issue with that is that each person that is suffering from narcissistic personality disorder can go on to abuse multiple people. Now, if those people are exposed to narcissistic personality disorder themselves, particularly at a young age, they are likely to go on and form narcissistic personality disorder themselves and go on to abuse multiple people. And in that sense, it carries on and becomes a pandemic. And I believe that's what we could be facing. Now, as with any virus or disease, there are a few ways to try and tackle it. One of those is to cure the individual, which with narcissistic personality disorder appears to be a very difficult thing to do, although we should be trying to help individuals. But in the meantime, while they're still suffering from NPD, they can go on to spread to multiple more people. Now, I believe a better way, as you would do with any virus, is mass immunization of the population. My aim with these videos is two things. Firstly, to educate on narcissistic personality disorder, to make sure that people understand what it is, what it looks like, and can see it for what it really is. Now, I spent years in a relationship not even knowing that NPD existed. And I went on a steep learning curve to try and understand and recognize the behavior so that I could see clearly what I was going through. And that really entails making sure that you have a sense of self-worth, understanding that there's something within yourself that needs to be fixed, and working out how to set clear boundaries in this relationship or future relationships. As codependent people, we tend to be fairly empathic. And I know in my case, I felt a constant need to try and help the person because I saw them as a victim, not the abuser. I still feel the sympathy for the person that was abusing me, but I clearly understand that it cannot go on and that it's ultimately corrupting my personality and it's damaging me. And that in turn was making me damage other people. And that's really the core message of this video, is to try and explain that I feel like it's our duty as people who may be codependent to ensure that we give narcissistic abuse no ground to go to, and particularly to not allow it to change other people to become narcissists themselves. Now, the key point I would make there, if you're struggling to leave a toxic narcissistic relationship, particularly if you have children, is to think about what that can do to the other people long term. You know, I firmly believe that children exposed to narcissistic abuse are more likely to become narcissists themselves, or at least develop other significant personality disorders. I feel like during my times of abuse, I was developing coping mechanisms that were potentially abusive to other people to help me deal with the pain. So the real duty, if you're going through a narcissistic relationship and you're struggling, is to terminate that abuse and quarantine that abuser to hopefully get help themselves, but ultimately protecting other people from that abuse so that they don't start to become abusers themselves. Ultimately, if we can help enough people understand the condition and also understand what it means to be codependent and what's required to not be codependent, or at least set clear boundaries, then we should be doing our part to eliminate narcissistic personality disorder.